Hi, Fierce Divas. It's Jules LeBron, and welcome to Training Man, a very Demure podcast with my co-host, my brother,
I'm Josh, aka Abel the Man, aka Brother Demure,
Brother Demure.
as they were calling me in Vegas. That's how you know it's a nickname that sticks when they just assume it.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's yours. But we are back. We are back. Episode 2. It's good to be back.
Hi,
Always feels
Divas.
good. You look
Episode
fantastic.
2, Divas. Thank you. You guys look great today.
I look exactly the same, but you look fantastic. You look
Thank
fantastic.
you.
I'm trying to do that though. I'm just trying to like blend because you are the
Very
star.
straight man things. Very
You are
straight
the star
man
here.
things. Divas, welcome to episode 2. Thank you guys so much for coming back. So each episode is going to either go between like a theme or we're going to hit hot topics. And Diva, say we have the hottest topics for you and a few topics of conversations we just want to talk about. So Divas, let's get into topic 1.
I wanted to go back and talk about your timeline a little more specific because things happened with you, like we touched on last time. We didn't elaborate too much. Not overnight, right?
Yeah.
All successes are made overnight. And I found some videos of you back in your first content back summer 2020. It was your first video.
Back when, was it like Bratz style content?
It was actually Turbo. And that was your first video with Traction. It was with Turbo, and it was with the wig.
Oh yeah. I thought I was petting my petting Turbo, but I was a wig.
Yeah. So
yes.
I wanted to take you back to that time, like summer 2020. Think this is like COVID, little post the breaking news that summer then.
Yeah. Kovisha really tore me up.
So what really got you into it? Was it, I know you were already making stuff on other platforms. What made you say, I want to jump into this one? Because this is the one that kind of was your vehicle to push you to where you are now.
I think during the pandemic, a lot of us had like a lot of time to like reflect and like think about things. And during that like time of like reflection and stuff like that, I was realizing that like when I was making these storytime videos on YouTube, I wasn't necessarily making them to be entertaining. It's like put a story out there. What I was really doing was kind of just like targeting people. Like I was kind of just like doing it to get back at people. And I realized through that I wanted to start a new era of content where it was just actually about like me like having fun and being funny because that's what I was actually good at. And just like reconnecting with that side of myself rather than like focusing like on a side of myself that I feel like I ultimately looked back and regretted. And on TikTok, this show was having with YouTube on top of that was that I felt like on YouTube you kind of had like the same 7 people that I kept seeing going viral. And I feel like there's so many people on there that were just not getting the opportunity. Whereas on TikTok, I felt like it was like equal opportunity.
Okay.
Like no matter what was going on, no matter who you were, you had the opportunity to go viral. If you just uploaded a video, like the opportunity to like the algorithm was there. And then before that, actually, there's a video that I deleted off my TikTok.
Okay.
I started making content about me in beauty school. And then I had to end that because people started like fighting my shit. But there's a lady, this is during the election. And one of my coworkers, she like was like, oh, like, can you mix when you're in beauty school, you have like the job of like being like the person who like hands out formulas.
Okay.
And then you have the person who's like doing the actual hair. So I was like the person handing out formulas.
Scalpel.
And this lady's just like, and he's the reason that he won. He's gonna turn this country around. And I was like, what? So then like I like jokingly say to the girl, like, oh, I'm gonna give you black hair dye, like instead of blonde toner for this lady.
Oh.
And then I said that on TikTok and it went viral because people were in the comments like, just because you got political opinions don't mean you can go around ruining people's hair. And then that went viral. That video went viral. I was like, wait. Yeah. You have like potential like do something here type shit. So then I just kept uploading to TikTok and then school got shut down right after that. And that's when I was like, well, I have nothing to do. I have this account where videos are regularly going viral. Like, let's try to like do something else. I got rid of all my beauty videos and then I just started uploading regularly from there.
Back in that time.
Yes.
It was a time when social media was booming. A lot of different markets, a lot of different industries within that because of that. Because a lot more people were home. So a lot more people were restricted with what they can do recreationally. And I'm glad that you decided to make that transition right there because there's a lot of people, I would say slightly older than you and from the other gen that they didn't really catch on right there.
Yes.
So that's why the world has been changing so much the past couple years. And it's hard for different generations to kind of keep up.
Because what else did I see on TikTok too was because like I was starting to go viral, and I felt like TikTok it had been around for a while at that point, but I think that everybody was really like on.
When did it start? 2015,
2016, something like that. Okay. But I kind of thought it was like Musically for a while.
Yeah,
so I like didn't really like.
It was a different app back then.
When I was in beauty school, part of the reason I went to beauty school was I had saw some influencer getting her hair done
Okay.
for like an event, and she had like a hairstylist there.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? My thought was if I couldn't be like the influencer, because I felt like that's like what happened. Like my YouTube influencing like era had failed. I was like, maybe I could be the person who like does the hair. I could be like the help. You know what I mean? And then it was through doing hair. I was like, I can't be the help. I can't be the fucking help, bitch. Like, fuck that shit. And so then I was like, you know, TikTok, I feel like people are going viral. I was like, maybe what I felt too was I missed the wave at YouTube. I was like, maybe I
Mm,
started too late. I watched too long and I
yeah.
didn't jump in when the time was right. I was
It
like,
is fun looking back because it's only grown since then,
yes,
like
no, literally.
exponentially. But
And
no, I felt the same way
it's
back then.
crazy because like some of my biggest like idols, like for example, like if you guys watch Tana Mojo Cancel Podcast, yeah, tag Tana. Let's get me on the Cancel Podcast. But I remember watching her and being like, I could do this. Like, why am I not able to do this? And thinking, like, you know what? I'm not gonna miss the wave with TikTok.
Right.
At least I'm gonna say I tried. You know what I mean? And within like the first 2 months, I had like 12,000 followers.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. And the thing is too is like I just said, it was a different app back then. It
Yeah.
was a whole different landscape when it came to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, what it is today, it's everything today.
It's everything.
It's actually turned into like
It's a
that
mainstream app, I think now.
that and X are honestly the two biggest sources of people's news now.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to
100%.
people that are older and I'll inform them of things that they have no idea about. They'll be like, "What? That's happening?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They just watch the news. That's all people did
Which
before.
you can't trust the news nowadays. Beyonce.
You know, you never know. You never know. So yeah,
Ugh.
it's something different because you had two actually. You had it was a turbo one, and you had another one, and then after that, it like went down. It went down drastically, and I was
Yeah, that's what I've always found on TikTok is like I have like even right now. Right now it's like I call it my slow period. We're in slow season. Like I'll have moments where it's like I'm going really, really far. I'm getting tons of numbers. Like some brands that my managers talked to recently. They're like, well, we don't know. She's not getting 11 million views per video anymore. It's like, well, as it turns out, like I don't, but you know what? I've always been one of those influencers or one of those like social media creators where I feel like I've always had to try like 4 or 5 times as harder. Oh, you could put filter it now too, no? We could go to oldest.
how you do that.
Ah, I fucked you up. I'm so annoying. Oh, I'm so annoying. I'm sorry.
So after that, I had seen you were, and I remember too. You know, we weren't talking as much at the time.
Yeah.
I was working a lot, but you were working at that truck stop, and
Yeah. Oh
and
my
that
God, the truck stop.
and you
That's when the
started
shakes got real for me was working there.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
were, I seen a couple videos where you were like, this truck stop is keeping this thing going.
Yes.
It's, you
Yeah.
know, it's not much. It's a, you know, you'll find an empty bottle of Don Julio by the slot machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
have people coming here at 5 a.m. People running out, not paying you and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. People
so
sexually harassing me, all fucking. It's all men, all men, all time. They just come in there, fucked up. Hey, pretty. I'm like, ah, well.
thanks, I guess.
I'm like, ew, but also.
Yeah, that
No,
was
but I remember that I was working there. And I made a series of videos called motherfucking makeup. I don't know. I would identify makeup products and then
okay.
be like, but I don't know. Like that was like my whole gig at the time.
Mhm.
Then I was going live and I was getting thousands of viewers on live. I would go live during my shift, and the whole shift I'd be live, just like talking shit
You had this one video with this
with
stitched
Beyonce.
was stitched with a guy, and it was your
Oh,
first video kind of with traction right after kind of those
oh,
first couple
oh, T.
videos.
Do you okay? So you want to say? Let's talk about video stitching real quick while you're looking for that. So video stitching divas. Recently, I don't know if you guys divas remember during my LA venture at the beginning of the Demure, I got into drama with a man. Did I ever tell you about this?
I think so.
So the girls, a lot of girls don't know this. At the beginning of Demure, there's a guy that I followed, and he had like made these like grinder story times, right? I followed him on TikTok, and he was kind of gaggy. He had these story times. I thought he was so funny. Now, mind you, I had more followers than him at this time too.
Okay.
So then it wasn't even like it was like oh, I'm ignoring you because I have more followers than you type situation. So then I messaged him. Now, admittedly, this is where I'm gonna say I went wrong. I feel like I'm one of those people. If I'm on like a dating app and one of the divas are like, "Oh my god, diva," babe, I here's now's not the time. Now's not like I want to meet my fans. I don't want to meet my fans. So I'm like trying to get dick at the eagle. You know what I mean? Like that's just not what I'm doing. So I message him and I'm like, I love your videos. Like yeah, yeah, yeah. And he ignores me, right? Yeah, okay, fine. You know what? That's fine. I didn't feel any type of way about it. But then I go to this event where I met the Disney star, the one I told you about.
Yeah, the one that should not be named.
Yeah, that shall not be named Cyrus. And so
Yeah.
then he's there, right? And he's like, no, I'm with my best friend at the time. And so then he goes to my best friend, like, oh my God, like, is that Miss Demure? Like, she's so fucking funny. Like, do you think she'll want to take a picture with me? So then I go and take a picture with him, right? And so I'm really nice, really sweet. Yeah, 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 yeah. But mind you, because of the fact that he had like ignored my message previously, I had blocked him on TikTok because bitch, you gonna ignore me, bitch? I'm gonna like you're blocked. You're dead to
I've
me.
done that to so many people.
Like my thing is like, oh, you didn't want to talk to me? Okay, never talk to me again.
I guess we're never talking again.
No,
Yeah.
quite literally.
That's how you know it runs in our blood.
And so then I had blocked him. So then oh, we go to our hotel room. It's me and my bestie. We're there at night. We're having a ball. And so then we're in our beds, just like, recounting the night. And he goes, girl, did you see this? And so then the guy, mind you, again, the height of Demure. So everyone's like checking in on like what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, basically, Miss Demure is like not who she says she is.
Oh
Like,
no.
like she thinks she portrays herself as this sweet girl. And then she blocked me. And I was like the way he worded it was very much like she met me and blocked me right after that. And I was like,
The
but mind you, I had
nerve.
him blocked for a while.
Right.
So then I stitched it. I was like, no, I was like, because he is like, isn't it crazy how I was only worth having a conversation with when I was getting millions of views?
Mm.
Like I stitched it, and then the girls were dragging him. They're like, yeah, see, this is what you get for being fucking phony. And I was like, I always feel bad because like he really got dragged. Like he really got dragged. And like like it wasn't that deep, but like I did like his content before that. But no, yeah, he really got dragged by the demurity of it all.
The demurity.
The demurity, the purity of the demurity.
I like that one. I haven't heard that one before. Did you just unveil that? World
No,
premiere.
I always sometimes like if I don't call the divas the fierce divas, I call them my demurities.
Oh, okay. So you got like a hive.
Yes, the hive. The big hive is buzzing.
It's funny how I'm like so oblivious to a lot of the things that's going on, like um with your following.
Yeah.
And it's just because we're just in different worlds.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like that's what makes this dynamic good. Is you're like, hey, do you know about so and so? And I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah, and I see that you got like all these eras too. Like that was one thing.
Eras.
That was one thing I noticed going through it. Because I've seen all this before, but like now I'm seeing it in a different respect.
And it's funny because a lot of people have like known, like they've seen my content before they even followed me. Like they've seen it in some year, some way. They're like, oh wait, you're the same girl that was posting those Bratz videos.
And that's what people don't realize is that it's a
Yes.
numbers game as well.
Yes,
You got to
yes.
put out, and you've put out so many pieces of content over so many different platforms, so many different genres. It's like
Yeah.
eventually somebody's gonna be like, "Oh wow, I recognize you from A B C D E F G."
But there's a creator named Patricia Paytas, love her, and she does like a lot of eras. She's had eras where she's just singing on YouTube. She has eras where she's just doing hauls and mukbangs, and like that's always like been my thing. It's like I feel like I'm one of those people where I feel like I'm like a personality channel.
Mhm.
I've always been the personality hire everywhere I've worked. The thing is, what I notice is people don't really care about what you bring to the table, more so as how you bring it.
So this is a story about when you were 5 years old, and you wanted to go out to the park to play. The neighbor,
I already know what story.
the neighbor was like, "Hey, do you want to come to the park to play? Why don't you ask your mother
Yeah,
if you can come to the park to play?"
they're pitting adults against each other.
And what happened from there?
Evil, evil. Okay, so as a child, I just want to do whatever I want because fuck that. My parents raised us to be like very independent. So we were just like, girl, like we're gonna go somewhere, we're gonna go. No, was that the reality of it? Absolutely not. So my mom, she was very like, not like a strict mom, don't get me wrong. But she was very much like, I'm not gonna let you go anywhere with anyone, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? So this lady, we had a neighbor, and I want to say like neighbor lady, I don't know. She had a little boy that like had like a similar. Do you know those little cars that we had? Like tricycles. We had little tricycles, like
Yeah, a little cat cart.
yeah,
Pedal
something like
carts,
that.
yeah.
He had the same one that I had, so I was like, okay, gag. So then I was like, let me bring mine, and then we'll like be besties, basically. That was how my vision went. You know what? You want to know what it was too? Because I've always. This is the thing about being trans is that like I've always felt like a girl. So in my mind, he was like this little white boy with like a bowl haircut, and so then my mind. Hold on, where's my phone? I need
Right there.
where? Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna show you this real quick, and you're gonna be like, "This makes so much more sense." Oh my god. Tommy and Kelly Power Wheels.
You got your work cut out for you this week, buddy.
So in my mind, this is what we were gonna give.
Oh,
So
that was your plan.
that's what I was seeing. I was seeing like we're gonna go to the park and give this.
And when you're a child, you have that grandmaster plan.
No, exactly. So I'm like, now I can finally be Kelly, and like this little boy could pull me around. We're gonna put the photo right here somewhere. And so then I'm like, okay. So then she's like, the lady next door asked me like, do you want to go to the park with us? And then I'm like, yeah. And she's like, go ask your mom. So it's her, the lady, her little boy. And so then I go inside. And I'm like, I feel like if I ask her, she's gonna say no.
Right.
So then,
and
like,
that's why you didn't ask her.
So then I walk inside, chilled. We had like a mirror in the hallway. And looked in the mirror.
Ask yourself.
Walked right back out. And I was like, yep. She said yeah. No, fast forward a few hours. We come back. It's a few hours. A 5-year-old gone from the front. Imagine.
Sirens.
5 year. We live on a busy street in Chicago. Could have been ran over. Something. Sirens, police, ooky, spooky, kooky, creepy.
Everybody freaking out.
Like,
because
my mom's
5-year-old Jules
there. My
is
uncle's
gone.
there. I don't know what my uncle's doing there, but he's there.
Everybody was looking for you. That's why we know.
So me and this lady comes back, and we're both like in our little cars, little tricycle, happier than a motherfucker. She got us ice cream the whole night. It was a gag. We come back, and this is when the lady finds out I, in fact, never got permission to go. And my mom has been hysterically sobbing, called the police, like there's sirens, like there's fire trucks, there's like all types of shit in front of our house. My mom is sobbing. And so then I pull up like, hey, how y'all doing?
And the neighbor was apologetic and like
she's like telling my mom like, oh my god, she said that you said it was okay. Like the neighbor's crying with my mom now, and I'm like, wow, like what's for dinner?
No. You didn't say what's for dinner. You said, well, because the neighbor was like, Jules told me it was fine. You go to the party, you got permission. And you looked up and said,
oh my god, yeah. The lady told my mom. The lady tells my mom like, oh, like she's like, oh, like Jules said that like you gave them permission to come with us, and I was like, I turned to this lady. I go, I never said that. Like just shit on this lady, like just like I never said that. And then my mom's like I remember, I'll never forget. Mom was wearing
arrest her now.
And she like grabs me. And she's like, like just like the most offended.
This evil,
like, the thing is, like,
evil lady.
Like my mom just like thought I was the sweetest person ever. She did not think I was over here lying at these people. So she was gagged. Like she literally looked at this lady like. I was pitting adults against each other, causing problems. And the thing is, I never saw that lady cross by our house again.
That was fucked
up. I need, if you're that lady, get into if you're the little boy, get into this post.
Contact me. I'm sorry. I almost got you locked up for kidnapping.
You know what? That was reparations, though.
Like, 1998. I apologize.
1998. There's a little bald-headed or big-headed bald curly boy.
Oh my god! But that video was the first one that got like significant traction with you. Like,
yeah.
Right now it has over 200,000 views. Back then it was probably still 6 figures, but I noticed that like that's when you started kind of leaning into it. Because the very next one was the one with Turbo, with the black wig and the confusion.
Because there's a lot of it that Bratz content during that time.
Hilarious. Well, that's when you started transitioning into that. Because right after that. There's a law, and there always is. And I wanted to ask you about that because if you got something that's doing 6 figures, and then your next couple videos are doing nothing, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like you're being suppressed? Do you feel like how does that even?
I feel like at that time, like I was just kind of like, I kind of figured it was just hit or miss. Now, as a creator, like
now
especially like when you have the back end, you have representative,
right, because there wasn't any pressure back then.
Now it kind of just is like, even now, like if I'm gonna be so real with you guys, like now I'm kind of wondering, like, am I like, what do I do next? Because like sometimes I'll make the very demure videos, and they'll be one of the only videos that do good now. And sometimes it makes me feel like, is this all that TikTok wants me to do now? Is like to just get on here and be like,
I think that's just the algorithm.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is, because that's what people recognize you for.
Yeah,
but no, I completely understand.
Cause like sometimes like I look at other people who have like done things that I've done, or like other people that like are creators in my space, and it just feels like every video they getting hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views, and it's like, what's the difference? Now, admittedly, there is times where like I'm coming on this bitch, half my bald head showing. You know what I mean? And those videos, I'm like, okay, T, like
I mean, honestly, that's part of the appeal. Like, you know, you're authentic.
It's one of those things where it's like the TikTok, the machine itself. It's like if I come on camera, like if I come on there like this right now, I know I'll get more views than if I come looking bald headed and stuff because like they're like, you know, also like their algorithms, sensors, and their AI is like processing things differently too. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so sad looking at my Bratz era just because like that era ended so like traumatically.
So this is now, you know, in the timeline.
Yeah.
Now we're in 2021.
Yeah.
You've got a couple videos that got
Bratz
some
21st
traction.
anniversary or
You got
Bratz
a
20th anniversary.
you got a duet here that actually probably just recently crossed a million. It's at 1.4 million. It's one of your earlier videos back from 2021, February. Actually, almost exactly
Am I taking my wig off?
4 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the one.
I found out taking off my wig was getting me a lot of views.
And that one got you a lot of views.
Yeah.
And I'm sure after that little lull, you're going, you know, not getting a lot of traction. That's something that's like
I did regret
reaffirming.
that for a while though.
You regretted it?
Because the thing with the wig is that like to me, I know it's a wig. No shit. Most people who see wigs know it's a wig.
Right.
But then it becomes like people like people will be like, oh, like I like your wig. Hmm. Why would you just say you like my hair? Because obviously this is my hair right now. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
almost feels like an underhanded compliment.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit like they see it as like a costume, and I'm like,
Backhanded compliment?
like a backhanded compliment. It's like it gets weird because it's like to me, it's such a like part of my identity when someone makes it seem like it's a costume.
Right.
It makes me feel like ugh, gross, like yuck.
My identity is not your costume.
My culture is not your fucking costume, bitch.
Right after that, now you're in your Bratz era. Now you're like, you know, you've got a few videos that have done good. You're a little bit here, a little bit there, but now you're trying to find your niche and you're going into that. You've always had a love for that. I remember when I was a child, and you were obviously a younger child. You already had a collection of all different types of stuff, and this one, am I wrong? Well, this was kind of the more like modern one at the time. This was the one that was like, this is kind of the newer thing. This is the more
I think the thing with
hip
Bratz is that it
thing.
was a the hip thing, but I was really into it before it had gotten cool. During the pandemic, collecting had started getting cool. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then because during the pandemic and like kind of trying to you know, when I started going to therapy and stuff and like trying to heal my inner child, I realized that like I needed to start surrounding myself with things that like I really wanted as a kid. So that's when I really started really going in on my Bratz collection because I'd had them for a few years.
And what age was that?
But I'm sorry, what?
What age was that?
That was let's see, 2021 is
That was only 4 years
4
ago.
years ago, like late 20s, mid 20s, something like that. But I had been collecting Bratz since I want to say the 2010s.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like fully. But the thing was like it was more so like I had a few dolls here, a few dolls there. But it wasn't as like intense. You know what I mean? Because I'd done Monster High a few years before that. And I was really, really into Monster High. During trying to hear my inner child, what I noticed was that I was really falling back into Bratz, but I realized I was on all these forums, I was under all these videos, I was in all these places where I knew the most. I had the most information to provide. Anytime someone needed any kind of archival history on Bratz, I realized that I was actually genuinely a Bratz historian. I had known everything with the brand. I had had almost all the products that they had to offer. And on top of that, I'd been there as it was released and there retrospectively.
I feel like I'm supposed to hire you.
Oh no, it's a gag. It's a gag. But the thing is that I had nothing to show for it. I didn't have a YouTube channel you could go to. I didn't have a page you could go to. I didn't have a resource. And I'm realizing that all these people are sharing other people's resources and pages. And I'm finding that I don't have that for myself, you know? So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a Bratz TikTok. There was no other one at the time. And honestly, I was one of the first fashion doll pages on TikTok altogether. And so then when that first started happening, um, like I basically started collecting to like kind of like archive things, and I started growing my collection and filling it out with like play sets and different pieces. But what I was realizing was it was healing my inner child, and it was really like helping me like kind of like grow and like be like more content with my adulthood. And then one day I had moved into that house that was on Roosevelt. And then I had that big room with the big Bratz display.
Yeah.
And I remember looking around and having that feeling of like I have it, like I have it all. Like I have the winter house, I have the genie playset, I have the rock and roll, I had everything. And you want to know what happened immediately right when that happened? I sat there and I said, "Wow!" Like I feel I like really felt like it was like level unlocked, like achievement unlocked, like inner child healed. Like I felt it, and I
And
was
most
like,
people don't ever get that gratification.
it was an amazing feeling. You want to know what came immediately after it though?
What?
the realization of, well, why didn't I get that doll? Why didn't I get that doll? Why didn't I get that doll? And then remembering all the arguments and fights that came with that from when I was a kid. And then all those fights and arguments that I'm remembering, I'm now going back to mom, going back to dad, who have just done all this work to try to understand me, who have just tried to, been here to support my transition. I'm sitting here and I'm bringing up old arguments that are causing us to fight again.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that these dolls being out is causing a level of pain that I'm not
It's
understanding.
bringing you back
And
to
it's
that
it's
time.
taking me back in time, and I'm realizing that I had to start getting rid of them, and that's why I started getting rid of them. I sold off like a shit of them, got rid of a bunch of the play sets, like got rid of pretty much everything. Because on top of that, as a kid, I never saw myself. When I was a kid, I think that like I was the notion of like one day I'm gonna get everything I want mostly came from the fact like I felt suppressed by our parents, and not so much that I saw myself as an adult who like had a giant Bratz collection. I just saw myself as an adult being able to do whatever I want.
Finally be able to do what you wanted to do when you
Exactly. That's what I was.
couldn't
I
do when
didn't
you were a
realize that
kid.
that was the
And
interpretation.
everybody wants that.
And so then also taking into account that every time I've moved, the brats and the dolls were such a big part of it. There was such a stress maintaining
Oh,
a
yeah.
thousand dolls in the playsets and
I
dusting.
know, I was helping you move.
Yeah, making sure you keep track of the little bracelets, the little it was just so much stress that I was like, it really starts out to outweigh the negative
It
and the
was like
positive.
it was like a half of the moving truck, like a third.
Yeah, I would say more than half actually. It was all just Bratz dolls, and I just had to realize like I'm now getting a storage unit to get them. I'm paying like a monthly fee to get these done to like take care of these, and like then on top of that, such big falling outs with so many of my friends. I had a falling out with the company. We were working
Well,
together.
that's the thing is like, and that's what I wanted to ask you was like, at this point, this is a part of your life and your career, right? It's like
Yeah, it
you're
started to
trying to
become my
become
job too.
right. You're trying to become a content creator. You finally found your niche, something that you've always loved.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like you're not realizing this is also a source of pain. This is a source
exactly,
of trauma.
exactly.
Bring me back to a time. It's making me relive this, which is weird because it's a itch you wanted to scratch. Sometimes you don't realize that that's just distracting you from what the real problem is, right? Because you could have an itch, you could scratch it, but then you realize like, "Oh, that's right, my foot is broken." Like,
Right.
it's just
Well,
distracting
like
you.
it's one of those things where it's like I have a bad habit of this. I'm gonna quote Brittany Broski real quick. There's a creator who said this, and she said that she loves things and she'll hold on to them. She'll hold on to them, but she'll hold on to them until a point where they don't serve her anymore. And she realizes when she looks at what she's holding on to, she's leaving claw marks on it. And oh, I'm gonna cry. And that's what I realized I was doing. I was leaving claw marks on it, and I was like destroying something that I really, really loved, and able to like keep it in my life instead of like keeping it as like a good memory and keeping it as like,
Right.
yeah, like I had that thing and I love this era. And like that was one thing I had to come to terms with was like, like it was okay to leave it at that moment where my inner child got healed, and it was okay to be like, you know what, like let's leave it here. You know what I mean? Because like the pain and stuff that came with that afterwards, to like remember it as that, I knew ultimately would just like make me feel worse, you know?
Right.
And like now I'm at a point where like I've started collecting brats again, like I have all my shit, but it's not so much at a point where I'm trying to heal something. It's more so like I love this. This has great quality. This is great detail. And I appreciate what went into this, and less of like, let me go fix my childhood and let me relive my past. Like, and I think that that was really hard to like come to terms with, or like come back to, because like it's like all the signs were there too. I had felt that way about my collection. Um, at one point, I was going to work with the Bratz company, and I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want any problems or anything, but we had to end up having a falling out over finances. So then having that, having my friends not talk to me anymore, having the community that I once loved kind of turn against me, and then just having that feeling about my collection and about the brand and about the company, it just kind of made me like be like, if these aren't the signs, like what are? You know what
Right.
I mean? And I also just think that like this is Yasmin, Chloe, Sasha, Jade. Those are the four characters. They're the Bratz like main four characters. I just think that they like that Bratz era had brought me so many views, had brought me thousands of followers. And had really been like my first big era on TikTok. And I think that that was them kind of being like signing off on it. Like they're like, Diva, like you can move on now. And I remember being like, I think the Bratz girls would have not wanted me to like be stuck where I'm at, because I don't think the goal was ever to surround myself with Bratz. I think the goal was always to become a Bratz doll. And that's kind of the gag. Like I think I've always wanted to just be a gorgeous girl who wears a lot of makeup, wears cute clothes, and travels around the world and does her thing. And that's what I got.
It reminds me of when Kanye West was like, I wanted to be a producer so that I could rap. I need beats to
Yes,
rap on.
yes.
Everybody wants to make you're a producer. I did this because I want to rap. Not that Kanye's the greatest guy, maybe a bad reference currently.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the point is that he really wanted to do one thing, but you got to do something else to achieve that and to get
Yes,
to where you want to
yes.
get to. And it's funny because that's actually what brought you into your next era, your makeup era, was you
Yes.
wanted to be a brat.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so it's like you had to learn how to make yourself look like that.
Yes, and it's what's crazy too is, like, you bring this up. I had a meeting. I have some crazy things coming this year, Divas. In that meeting that I told you I had, they were basically telling me, like, "What if you did something surrounding beauty?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "But aren't you, like, a beauty creator?" I was like, "That was the one thing I loved about Demure is that it took me out of that. I didn't have to be a beauty creator anymore." Because, like, the Bratz pain that I felt was only going to be like a premonition to what was gonna come with the beauty community. Like, it was only gonna be exact like the beauty community situation. Like, I love that era, and we're gonna get back to that era. I really wanna get back into beauty videos. But man, the beauty communities fucked me up.
Well, I mean, it's something, and also too, it was just something completely different. One thing you didn't realize when you were pursuing this collection of all these different pieces and sets that you needed is you were obsessively trying to make that collection because you didn't realize what you needed was to heal, right? That was the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing. It's like you have to do something and you don't know what you need to do until you got all of them. And then once you
Yes,
got all of
yes.
them, you're like, oh, I don't have anything left to do. So now I have
Yes.
to, what is it? I got to face my problem. I got to
No,
overcome that.
yeah, yeah.
So once you got to that point, now when you're getting into a different era, now you're doing a different thing, you're not approaching this the same. You're not looking at this as an obsessive need to fill a void.
Yes,
Now it's
yes.
like I'm interested in something, I'm transitioning into something else, and this is something that I need to do because guess
Yes.
what? You want to look like a fucking Brad style.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how
Well,
to
the
do
thing
that
was is
shit.
that
And you got good.
I
You
would
got
post all
really
these
good at
Bratz
it.
well, I'd post all those Bratz videos, and then people would be like, every once in a while, I'd pop on the camera, and people would be like, "Show us how the fuck you do your makeup. Like, what are you doing
Yes.
here?"
I mean, people used to book appointments with you, right?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
I did, guys, I did freelance hair and makeup for years. I just realized that, like, I just love the art of like doing makeup. I didn't really like want to do because here's my thing. I
You
always
just
say
don't like
this.
dealing with people
I was gonna
sometimes.
say this. A real quick segment. People always ask me like, "Why don't you do hair? Why don't you do hair? Why don't you do hair?" And one of my friends, I'm gonna do her hair. My friend Stephanie. Hey, Steph. I'm gonna do her hair, and she always tells me like, "Why don't you want to do hair?" Having talent should not be the only reason you ever pursue a career. And I strongly believe in that because if you don't have the other things that it takes, like being a singer, singing is the only part of being a singer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So if all you want to do is sing, being a singer might not be for you because if you don't want to perform, if you don't want to stick to a schedule, if you don't want to be doing promotions, it's not just singing. And doing hair is not just doing hair; it's managing a business.
Especially with like today, it's not just as simple as it used to be. You have to have a complete online presence as well as a real life presence. If you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
both, if you're not putting boots on the ground and you're not putting posts up and promoting and networking, it's not gonna happen.
No, yeah. And for me, like, if you don't like your hair, well, fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. Like, my thing is like, I don't want to fix it. I don't care. And then I take everything too personal. Like, I put my heart and soul
Well,
into your hair, and
didn't
now you don't like
you
it.
have a problem with somebody?
Oh well.
And then is it story time?
Okay, so quick story time. True story, morning glory. Okay,
Cuts
so
to story time.
first of all, if you're the girl that I'm talking about right now, love you,
Love you.
love you.
Sorry.
Demure stories. So I'm doing this girl's hair, and if you do hair, you guys know with lightener or with bleach, it's not a time thing. It's just how it looks. So there's no okay. It's 20 minutes. We got to rinse it out. It's it's okay. I'm gonna check it, and then I'm gonna check it, and then I'm gonna check it. So then I tell her maybe about 20 minutes, right? So it's on like the 21st minute, 20:35 maybe. 20 minutes, 35 seconds. And she's like, yeah, so has it been on long enough? Every 2 minutes from that first minute until that 20, she had been, are you sure? Do you want to check it? I tell her, I just have to wait for this to get to a certain level. Then I'm going to put the toner on. Then we're done, right? She asked me, and I said, don't ask me again about this. I know what I'm doing. Why would you ask me to do your hair if you don't think I know what I'm doing? You know what I mean? I don't go to the movie theater and ask them how to fucking put out a movie. You know what I mean? Like I
Also,
think they
too,
know what they're
like
doing.
never be the kid that's like, "Are we there yet?"
No,
Are we
never
there
be
yet?
that kid, but also like, shut the fuck up.
That's like that's children. That's for children.
No, like here's my thing. If we want to play school, mama, you're going to time out and like you'll never see me again. Cause like it's the same thing with the little kid. Like I'm gonna tell you one more time, and then you're gonna go on punishment. You're gonna go on timeout. You got one more time. So then I tell her,
You told her
if
you
you
got one more
ask me
time?
this like a child, I said, if you ask me one more time, it's gonna be a wrap. Now I think she thinks that I'm being hee hee ha ha funny. She goes, "Are you?" Didn't even finish. I take the toner. I take the developer. I
Mid
said
sentence.
mid sentence. I said, "You're gonna take one part of this and one part of this, and you're gonna mix it together.
Here's some
And you're
advice for
gonna
you.
put that on your hair, and you're gonna leave that in for about 15 minutes."
Good
I was
luck.
like, "And make sure you rinse out that bleach real good." She goes, "What?"
Keke?
And I was like, "Oh no." So then I go, "So you're gonna take one part of this, repeat the directions, because what? Hello?" She's not processing. I'm leaving as I'm packing up all my stuff, and she's like, "Wait, are you leaving?" I said, "Oh," I said, "Unnamed woman." I said, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving." And I walked out of this woman's house who lived miles away from me. And I walked all the way home in the darkness at 1 a.m. because
And I'm
no.
sure as soon as you walked out,
And
she stared at the door and said, "What?"
I'm not even joking to you. I had never seen someone like didn't know what to say. Didn't I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here since you know. Oh no, I remember I said, since you know it all, one in one, 20 minutes, enjoy. And I walked away. And then and then the gag was, so we were coworkers.
I was gonna say, you see her the next day, right?
For the next week, she is wearing a headscarf, like wrapped around her head, like just clearly hiding. And then she was blonde. Then when she finally came back without the headscarf, dark brown hair, dark brown. So that's how I know whatever mess I had left on that girl's head after I left was not good. Was not
Oh.
good. I was also like not healed at that time in my life, so I was really just like,
You're like, "I don't
"Fuck
wanna
you!" Like I was ready to
I
crash
don't
out at
wanna
any
do it
moment.
to you, but I'll do it to you.
You know what?
I
It's
ain't a
like I
killer, but don't push me."
it was like I didn't like it was like I didn't want to do it to her, but I also wanted to see if I could, like if I had it in me.
If I could.
Like if I had that dog in me, you know what I mean?
Never know until you try.
You never know until you try, and if you try, you never know until you do.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So, your Bratz era was exited at this point. Now we're talking what, 2022?
Yeah, yeah. We're entering like makeup era, makeup tutorials, makeup because the thing was because I was posting beauty content on YouTube and
Right.
doing story times.
Because at the same time, you did still have the YouTube going.
Yeah. But like I just like didn't want to do beauty anymore. So then that's why I was like mainly posting on TikTok. But then I was like, damn, these bitches still want beauty from me. So I might as well just post beauty videos to TikTok. You know what I mean? So then that's what I started doing, getting in my beauty era.
So, what happened then in 20
Ah, what happened?
because you keep kind of insinuating things happen, but
The thing is, I'm like terrified of this person, so I'm scared to bring
okay,
this
that's
up.
what I'm like. There's a lot of
Because like
redacted.
this part, okay, so everything we're gonna say is gonna be a legend right now. If you divas connect the dots, that's between you and God. But I'm gonna be very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Filtered?
Not filtered. I'm gonna be very general when I say a lot of what I'm gonna say. So then basically during those beauty videos blowing up, there was a trend of like pink under eye makeup. And I had oh no, it was after me doing the like during that beauty eras when I also started doing those videos I was telling you about the truck stop. I was doing the like identifying makeup and stuff like that. Now from that, I started doing more beauty tutorials because like I was getting like hundreds of thousands of views, sometimes millions of views, sometimes like tens of millions of views on these videos.
Hold on. You were getting tens of billions of views on these videos when you had like a couple thousand views kind of regular. You had a few videos that had, hundreds of thousands, maybe a million
Yeah.
views, but was it the live? Like what was propelling you to those kind of numbers at that time?
It was those makeup I don't know videos.
Oh.
But the thing with those videos, I stopped doing those too, is because like I wouldn't show my face in those videos. So that it felt like what happened was there was like a trip for a brand called Tarte. And a lot of their products that were featured in that trip that they're promoting made videos about and they had gone viral. One of them got like 11 million views. And but the thing is like it would be like a quarter tip of a product, or it'd be like some girl putting on a lipstick or something, and I would stitch the video and I'd be like, "Oh, it's like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip or whatever," but I don't know. That was like the whole video. And then those videos, like I said, some of them would get millions of views. Some of that one Tarte one got 11 million views. And I
Wow.
didn't get invited to the trip the same way the other people did. But I realized was they were getting millions of views from using the product. I was in a faceless video of the product. So it wasn't like necessarily like it had gone viral because of like me. It was like the video was viral, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I
a
mean?
faceless video.
So then from that era, that's what I was like getting frustrated with is that like my regular videos were doing numbers, but those videos would do millions. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, which is just the theme of my life, though, if I'm gonna be so real.
I mean, it's kind of like that. Whenever you try to do something, I mean, you have to put effort into whatever you want to do to be successful, right?
Yeah.
But it is funny how the way life works out is something else will develop kind of on the side.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, more often than not, that'll become your new kind of thing you transition to.
Speaking of the Bratz era, though, what we didn't really touch on was I was making Bratz videos about my collection stuff, but I started making emotional support Bratz videos.
Right.
And it was me with my mini me Bratz doll. And I'd take her everywhere, like make
And
videos.
you were a waitress at the time.
Yes, and those videos would do numbers, millions.
And
Those
this
videos-
is while you're trying to do the makeup thing.
that's wild. Yes, and it's still not working out. Still not working out.
You're like, this is really, and then why though? Because you had all that backlog of like Bratz success.
Yes,
You had the
yes,
algorithm
yes,
kind of.
yes.
So there's so many people that were probably like, oh look it, I haven't seen this in a
Yes,
while.
yes,
So,
yes,
right,
yes.
you're getting those views.
Yes, and like so then that era, but then from that era, those what I realized was those short little funny videos did way better than a lot of the longer content I was making on TikTok. So then I was like, okay, let's start doing the makeup identification videos because they were short. I
Okay.
would keep them to like 28 seconds or something like that. So we had 28-second video that I get millions of views on. So I was like, okay, let's start doing that. But then again, like I just kept running into content where I was like, I wasn't like the focus of the content. The focus of the content was the joke.
It was the joke.
You know what I mean?
But also, that's how you could tell that, like, you have a niche for this thing.
Because I like a good comedy.
Well, also, like, if you could do it without your face, if you could do it, because a lot of people, honestly, were just like, record my face, give me views.
There's a girl, I'm not trying to drag her, love her down. She's gorgeous. There's a girl on TikTok, she's gorgeous, stunning. So this makes sense, but also like go to hell. She's like in a video, she's like doing this. She's like, and it's like to some song. I looked at this video, it has like over 100 million views. And from that one video, she got like over 3 million followers.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And like she's just like
It was
famous
like
now.
one of the most famous videos of like that year.
Yeah, she just has like
Yeah.
some regular girl with brown hair. And I'm like, to be a young,
You're like, a
thin,
brunette?
cis woman with brown hair. Oh, they love a young, thin, cis woman with brown hair. The girls go up for a brunette. Let me tell you. What were we talking about?
So
Anyway, trauma. So
that one right there,
06.
that first stitch.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to summer of 2022.
You want to know what? Okay, we're gonna be real about this video. We're gonna put the video here.
Never give up, never back down, never what?
Let's put it up.
So there's an era. I'm sure if you guys follow me, you guys remember the makeup I don't know era where I would do makeup identification videos. You want to know what's pissing me off during that era? If I'm gonna be so real with you, so I do the video. Oh, hello, bundles. I do the videos where I stitch someone's video and they like be like not showing what product it is. Because there's this era where people would like do beauty videos. They're like, I just found. They'd be like, I just found the #1 best blush ever, and then say nothing.
Oh, gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. So then I got so annoyed with that.
That should annoy
Like, I was
me.
like, Diva, like, just tell us what it is. Like, what's going on? So then I would like stitch their video and be like, it's fucking Maybelline like blush and like number 303.
Exposed.
Because like, girls, stop being fucking annoying, but those videos would go viral.
People love exposure videos.
But that one specifically with that girl, I think what I just got annoyed with was like, I was like, I'm just tired of these girls getting all of these views, getting all the like notoriety. Because what I kept noticing was like, it'd be like in the beauty community, it'd be like the same 10 bitches getting on all the fucking trips. All these bitches, first of all, look exactly the same. They're like, it's Katie, Heather, Jennifer, and Stacy. And they all look the same. Every single one of them looks the same. Like, you could get one brown bitch on there. And so then I'm like, it was just like me trying to like rebel against like the beauty community and be like kind of like a dick and be like, this is what the fucking product is. Stop being fucking annoying.
Well, I mean, just in general too, I think it's like wired in your blood to hate gatekeeping because I do too. It's like, why?
Because like makeups for everything.
I enjoy sharing good things with people.
Yes.
It's like, why would you wanna, you know?
And honestly, I feel like as a trans woman and as like a plus size woman, a lot of things are like kind of like cut off to me in certain things in society. Makeup's the one thing where I'm like, it's for everyone. Like makeup, like fuck you, bitch. Tell me what fucking blush it is.
You know, so I wanted to bring you back to that time because
that's when I found my manager actually.
In the truck stop days?
Yeah, during the truck stop days.
Really?
My manager, Alyssa, at the time, me and her had just met. Love my manager, Alyssa. And when we had met, she was like pregnant with her kid, right? So then I just felt like I wasn't doing like a good like job as an influencer. So then like not even something they did. I just decided to leave the agency. Cause I was like, no agency needs me on their roster. Like I'm over here like not even getting brand deals. So then I left and then right after that, another agency. That's a whole different drama. I just know the bitches are gagged right now.
Oh.
Another agency picked me up, and then the agency like guy, because he picked me up and I had like almost 1 million followers at that time, he really thought that like I was gonna like get him mad money, so he quit his job. Right? He quits his job. They end up leaving me. Then not even like 2 months later, after they dropped me, Demure happens. And they left me on some like, well, you don't even have any incoming emails anyway, like being real nasty. And I remember we had a meeting and he went off on me and he was like, I left my job to manage you.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
I left my job to manage you. And I just want to let you know, by the incoming emails I'm seeing, I am not impressed.
Oh,
and I remember being like,
just gonna say that.
Like he left and I was crying because like he really yelled at me.
Like uprooted his life though.
Uprooted his life. And then his wife was like, no, it's okay. He just left his job for this. So like
He just moved across country.
No, they were in like Somalia or something.
Took a loan and
no, literally. And so then when Demure happened, I'm like, if you would have just shut
house.
the fuck up, you could have had money in the bank.
Oh,
Verizon,
no.
Taco Bell, Lyft. Netflix deals.
Don't do it to him.
The Diva Bowl. Did you try it?
I didn't, but it sounded delicious.
So then I was like, okay, we're gonna get back to my old management. But during that time period, she had her baby, then got pregnant again. So to me, she's been pregnant for like 2 years.
Oh.
Like I'm like, girl, like have that fucking baby already. So the other day she had her baby. And I sent her like a gift basket from Louis Vuitton. Why did Louis Vuitton call me yesterday? It was like, yeah, we're canceling your order. We don't have any of those things in stock. Why would you let me buy them? Like $4,000 worth of shit. Just
so they just take your money and they're just like, maybe
we'll just refund you in a few days.
We'll see if we can find it. If we can make one.
Call Louis, call Vuitton. Like, get someone on the phone, bitch.
Call whoever you gotta call.
Call anyone, bitch. But yeah, that was.
Hey, congratulations to her though. Congratulations on the baby.
Oh yeah, congratulations on your baby. The truck stop. That was a good era. I quit that job on TikTok Live.
On TikTok Live.
On TikTok Live. We had it was a day after we were gonna get robbed, and mom had to come to my job.
Hold on.
That?
Rewind. You got robbed at the truck stop?
No, we were under. We were gonna get robbed.
You were gonna get robbed.
We're getting robbed.
You foiled the
We're
conspiracy?
getting what's it called? A stick up.
So what do you mean you were going?
I believe in TikTok Live, but I believe in getting stuck up first.
So like, what do you mean you were going to?
Well, like a guy came in with a gun.
Okay.
Asked us to empty out our drawers.
So you did get stuck up.
No, yeah, but then like I thought he was joking. Because like remember I told you drunk motherfuckers would go there, so I started laughing.
You told me your job got robbed. That's all you told me.
Yeah, but like it didn't. But it did. Like, did my job get robbed? No. Did we get stuck up? Yes.
Guy comes in.
He's
robbing you.
Money. No, just ask us for the money.
With a gun.
No. Ask us for the money. I laugh. What are you talking about? I'm not giving you any money. That's exactly what I say to him. So then the security guard's like looking at us. Then he's like, shows us his gun, and I look at my coworker, I go, oh wait, are we really getting robbed right now? And she's like, I don't think so. He has a gun.
He's asking for money.
But also, I'm thinking he's just like drunk, being a fool. I don't know. Looking back as I say this, I don't know what part of me did take this seriously.
It sounds probably much worse where you're like, right now it sounds terrible. But back then, you're in this environment
comedy.
that's like twisted metal.
No,
it's like it's just normal.
Very that. Like it's like in a video game, like when someone has a rocket launcher, it's like, oh well.
It's a video game.
It's a video game.
Makes sense.
So then he's like, yeah, give me that fucking money out that drawer. And I was like,
this isn't even remotely something that can be confused for not being robbed.
No, like there's no confusion, but I still think it's like he's joking.
So he came in and he was like, I got a gun.
No, but like his
give me that fucking money.
No, because he wasn't trying to rob us like in like a robbery way. It was more like a funny kind of way.
So he was joking.
No, but he was robbing us. Like the like the thing is, I think I was the only one who thought he was joking. Cause like she went to the security guard.
Killing me with this right now.
She went to the security guard. So the security guard's like, "Hey guy, you gotta get out of here." And he's like, "Yeah." That was it. And then the thing is they started talking. And then for the next hour, they're like chatting. So I'm like, are we getting robbed or not?
The guy stood there for an hour?
Like like him and the security guard are like, yeah, so then basketball talk. So then I'm like, okay, so he's joking. So then he comes back and is like, give me the money out of the register. The security guard goes, okay, you gotta get out of here. Then the cops pull up and they're like, hands in the air. Then mom pulls up and I'm like, so we were getting robbed. It was like a back and forth of like an hour and a half of like, are we getting robbed or not?
Was it not?
And then like I asked my coworker, I was like, do I have to fill out a form? And she goes, girl, that's too much paperwork. So I don't know.
So legally, technically, you didn't
robbery.
get robbed.
No.
You did. Well, what happened to the man?
Emotionally robbed though.
Well, you got robbed.
No, they arrested him. Yeah. They took him.
Okay, so then you did get robbed.
No, but we didn't give him any money. Robbed of time. Robbed of.
You were robbed. You were robbed.
We were robbed. Yeah, we were robbed.
I think you were gifted. Actually, you were gifted the story.
I sometimes I wonder if I was a more panicky person, how that situation would have went.
I mean, you sounded a lot more calm in retrospect than I think.
Because I thought it was a jokey joke.
Well, I mean, the security guard
maybe I was trying to flirt. That's kind of what I was doing.
Well, maybe that's why you were
feeling
some type of way about it. But the security guard was like, "Hey, cut it out," and then he was like, "Okay," like that's. Right. So
that's what like in my mind, security like tackles. Like blood.
That's how you know like we're from Chicago.
No, it was
when it's like very borderline joking or not that we're getting robbed.
Like, hey, cut that out. Oh, okay.
So right after that was you were getting back into your serving. And I'm pretty
sure.
Oh
my God, Texas Roadhouse.
And I'm pretty sure that this was kind of was this not the final kind of era that pushed you into being like, all right, I need to like dedicate everything into this, because if not, it's not going to go anywhere.
Because the thing that I was realizing was like at a certain point, like you can work a regular job if you want to, girl, but like if you work like a super public job, like servicing, like shit like that, like, and you have a large following, it affects your job no matter what you do. No matter what you do. So then every day it'd be like the first week out of training, it just like every day, like people are like, oh my God, like I saw you on TikTok. Like I saw, because it's also to the algorithm. I feel like when it senses you're like around someone else, I don't know if that's how that works.
Maybe it starts feeding you videos like
in
the proximity.
Yeah, exactly. And so then
watch out with those location services.
Exactly. I'd have tables that would recognize me. But the thing was, because that started happening so much, you know, like people were just finding out left and right. And then I had posted a video. I'll never fucking forget. So the day that I had quit Texas Roadhouse, man, so I don't do edibles. They just like don't work for me, right?
Why is that?
They've never worked for me.
Like they don't work, or they work too much?
No, they've never worked for me. Never.
Oh, just at all?
Never worked for me.
Huh.
So like I've constantly
been one of those.
Like I don't do edibles. Like I'm not into edibles. Like blah blah blah. So then my roommate's like, I'm gonna make some edibles. I'm like,
oh, you did give me that chocolate last time.
Yes. Yeah.
I get
just
it
like
now.
I'm over.
I was like,
how was that?
I was like, why don't you? It was delicious.
Was it good?
Yeah, thank you very much. It tasted like the banana pudding, right? It was like yeah. And I was wondering, like, why are you eating this?
No, thank you, Incredibles. Also, by the way, you guys sent me that. I loved it.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out Incredibles.
So what happened at Texas Roadhouse?
So then my roommate's like, I'm gonna make some edibles. Like, oh my God. And so then like I'm like in my car, like I pulled Texas Roadhouse, and I'm like, I think what got me was like right before I had like gotten ready for work or something, I had seen a bunch of influencers posting like Halloween makeup tutorials.
Okay.
And I was like, that's what I should be doing. I should be posting like makeup tutorials on Halloween instead of at fucking Texas Roadhouse. Like a fucking son of a bitch. Just upset, right? So then I'm in my car, and mind you, I'd gotten there like 45 minutes early. So I'm like sitting in my car, I'm like double fisting pans, like on TikTok. And I remember the brownies. And I'm like, oh, let me have those. Like that, maybe that'll like put me in a better mood. Oh, because I had one the day before.
A brownie?
A brownie that he had made, and I realized that because I was so like stoned, I wasn't sweating because I'm like a sweater, and so then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have that brownie so that way I'll like in a good mood and not sweating. And
That's how you know it's some strong shit.
No, literally.
It's just like somehow this is an antiperspirant.
No, literally. Because I think a lot of my sweat honestly comes from like being anxious. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of it's not even like just like being hot. I think it's truly being anxious. And so then that time I had one. I was like, I'm gonna take two. So I take the 2 brownies, right?
Everybody says that.
So then I'm like hitting my pens and I'm like, on my phone, and I look and I realize I'm now like 15 minutes late. I was 45 minutes early. I'm now 15 minutes late. So then I'm like, oh my God, let me like go inside. Holy shit, I didn't realize time was passing. So then I go inside and dude, I'm like putting on my apron. And I remember, I'll never forget, I'm like pushing the door open. And it's just like, and I'm like, what is going on? Like all the sound, everything just felt like it was like slow motion.
So this is like the first time it's ever actually worked on you?
Worked in a way that like I thought was impossible. Like, so then like, again, it's just like, and I like, dude, on the way to the front host stand from putting my shit away, it's Halloween again. So then my cook is dressed as a zombie.
Oh,
I'm like,
the worst day.
I look over and I'm like,
the worst day for you to have edibles
what
working
the
on it.
fuck? And
You're
then I'm
the
like,
genius that's like, let me take 2 edibles before going to work on
my
Halloween.
My manager.
Double fisting
My
pens.
manager, because I had like left work because of Jesse one day. My manager's like, hey, like, how's your brother? My manager's dressed as the devil. Fully the devil.
How's your brother?
No, literally. And I'm just like, oh my God. So then I'm walking to the
stay
front
away
host
from
stand,
him.
and one by one, all 8 of the fucking bus boys are dressed as the Jabberwockies. So that they're looking at me with their masks, and I'm like, what is going on?
If they would have danced, you would have lost it.
And that would have been it. So then all of that happens. So I'm just like, I walk up to the host stand. I'm like 6 feet away. And I see my manager, who's dressed as Tinkerbell.
By the way,
dressed as Tinkerbell.
disclaimer.
Showing my host, who's also dressed as a Disney princess. Bitch, you ate the apple. Snow White.
Snow White.
She's dressed as Snow White. And they're watching one of my videos. And I'm like, no. And I literally go.
That would have blew my mind.
I literally go, I'm thinking about when I just put it back and it's just like my shirt that I'm going to leave with after I like get done my shift.
Yeah.
And I decide that shirt is not worth going back there for. And I walked right out the front door. Went back into my car and drove right the fuck home.
That was it?
That was it? Nope.
No.
I was too high. There's too many costumes. I was over it. And
Disney
I was like,
characters watching my content.
For me not to be here. This is a sign for me not to be
The
here.
universe was telling you.
Like, you're just high, bitch.
Guess what? Instead of you watching Disney, Disney's watching you
They're
now.
like, no, the universe is like now on Disney Plus. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Disney was watching you now.
No,
and you were watching Disney watching you.
It was just like,
And it blew your mind because
it was just like I always have like a rule of 3. Like the first 2 things I can ignore, but that third one is gonna be the thing that sets me up. The
3
third one was
strikes.
just watching them watch my videos. I was like, all right, yeah, well, we gotta go.
That was the meta
like
moment.
devil manager, Jabberwocky bus boys watching my videos. Yeah, I gotta go. Like it's too much. It's too much. Because you're telling me this is before I'm even approaching a table. No, we're good. We're good. Because what's the table gonna be?
So hold on. You just completely walked out.
No, completely walked out.
And drove away.
And then they're like calling me. They're like, hey. Like, are you coming back from your car?
Were these like extra strong? Like, why did these work and none ever worked?
Dude, I still to this day don't know. Like, I've even asked him, like, me and that same friend are gonna go to the Beyonce concert.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, make sure you make those edibles again, because
I'm trying to see some Jabberwockies.
I'm trying to be under Beyonce.
I'm trying to talk to the devil about my brother.
No, no. This is the devil just asking you, like, is your brother okay? Who like just is doing not okay? I'm like, oh my God, is he taking him to hell?
But like, how like that was crazy, the symbolism there, right?
No,
because, like,
yes.
the devil's asking about your brother.
No, yes.
Who, you know, like, who knows? Bad decisions sometimes.
Yes.
All of us make them. But if the devil's asking about anybody, especially if you care about them, you can only think, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, yes.
On top of that, you got this weird reverse Disney characters things watching you.
Yes.
Which is like a sign for, hey, maybe you shouldn't be at fucking Texas Roadhouse.
I mean, well, no,
maybe you should be making content. Because look at the power of that.
The thing was that, like, Texas Roadhouse, too, like, I just knew that, like, I shouldn't have been working there either. Like, when I had gone to the interview, this is how I knew, like, looking back, I should have just, like, never, like, took the job. I'm in the interview, and the guy literally, this is the interview, actually. Him coming to the table and going, listen, I see you have experience. I looked at your resume. If you're able to start within the next few days, you're hired.
Wow.
And I remember going, So that's where you guys are at, huh?
Yeah.
Because like if that's where you're at, yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And then like hearing my coworkers being like, yeah, like I had quit and walked out of them mid shift and they brought me back. I was like, yeah, that's you guys are probably like struggling right now.
There's always
So
those
then I'm like,
places.
maybe this isn't the right time for me, actually.
There's always those places like that. So then what? You just leaned fully into the content after that?
I just tried to do the best I could because then I joined the creator program where I could start getting paid for my videos. So then I started doing that.
So talk about that.
Money.
The creator program, is that something that do you apply for? Do they reach out to you? Because there's a lot of people.
It's once you like get to a certain
idea.
like you have to get a certain amount of views, a certain amount of number of followers.
Okay.
And then they invite you to do it. And then but for me, what I noticed is that like it was like I was making a good amount of money. I probably make like a good like $6,000 a month.
And at this point, we're talking like 2000, early 2024, late 2023, something like that.
I would say early 2023.
Okay.
Because then after that, I started getting brand deals.
Because this is like Texas Roadhouse, as you do.
Yeah, because Texas Roadhouse, and I got hired the first day at Texas Roadhouse. That was like when I got my first brand deal.
Okay.
So then I started getting consistent brand deals, and then that's just what I was doing. And then it wasn't until I had the issue with that one brand founder slash influencer that kind of fell apart, because that's actually what was the end of all that.
I mean, that was like what, almost a whole year later, right?
Yeah, pretty much a year later.
Okay.
Because all of 2023, I was making like good money. I was doing brand campaigns with the certain brand, and everything was going good. I was making good money. It was only after that one campaign that summer of 2023 where I'd almost died on set with those people, the heat stroke and all that.
In LA.
In LA,
I was actually right.
It was after that. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that. Where in the timeline that was, because like, why don't you touch on that? What was that opportunity?
So
because that was one of your first big opportunities, I feel like.
Yeah, well, that was one of my like first like one of the first like 4 or 5. That when I had quit Texas Roadhouse, I started just getting brand deals with like Urban Decay, and so then I quit at the end of 2022 doing working regular jobs, and then throughout all of 2023 I was doing brand deals, and then that summer of 2023 is when that situation happened. And then, now mind you, again, I've been at that point supporting myself just through brand deals. I was doing actually great, making some of the best money I'd ever made. And then it just all suddenly stopped after that situation.
Right.
And I remember being so confused as to why. Like, I remember being like I didn't post anything controversial. I wasn't in any drama or anything. And then I remember some people that were friends with this person were like, hey, like I just want to give you a heads up because the same thing happened to me when I first started out, but like this person has a lot of connections, and they like did not like that you had posted, basically that you almost died in their work situation, and they've been telling things to us as a brand, and this was someone who worked at a brand too.
But this was, so what was the deal though? It was like you had went out and made an appearance. You were like in a parade.
Yeah, so I'd done an event. I'd done an appearance basically in LA, and they had us out there just like in not the best conditions. It was just really, really hot that day. Then on top of that, they didn't have any like cold water or anything for us. Now, there was a series of events also leading up to that situation that day. So the airplane, the plane that I took to get to LA didn't have air conditioning. Their air conditioning had broke. So then we're all on the plane sweating. It's the middle of summer. Yeah. So then I have hyperhidrosis. I get super easily dehydrated. So then I get to my hotel room. The hotel's air conditioner is broken.
That's unreal.
So then that whole night, I'm like pouring sweat. Then the next morning to get ready for this event, I'm pouring sweat, dude. I cannot stop sweating. So I'm so dehydrated. So then imagine all that leading up to then getting in a situation where you're in the sun. We're out there for like 8 hours or so. We're with no water. There's no fan. We're in direct sunlight. So I end up collapsing, having heat stroke.
Wow.
And yeah, basically almost dying across country.
Like, I remember. It was freaking us out. You had called.
Yeah, because I remember being like so scared because I was like, I had never been in a situation where like I had an emergency like this, but where like I wasn't in direct, like you couldn't come get me. Mom
no, none of us. No, we're thousands of miles away.
And so then, like they had like kept me there for longer. I'd stayed at that hotel an extra 5 days.
I remember.
And then even when I got back to Chicago, I had to go right back to the hospital because they're like, you're not doing good.
Yeah, as soon as you got back here, you went right back to the hospital.
Yeah, because I was just literally dying. Like they're like, your organs were starting to like fail on you, basically. And I just remember like posting about that, and then that person clearly not being happy that I posted about that. And from then they went to blackball me in the beauty community, and basically put the bug in different brands' ears to like not work with me.
Right.
And so then from that, that's how I ended up having to move out of the house on Roosevelt, having to move in with mom. That's when I got super depressed and gained like all that weight. And like that shit was like really like the dark like pit of everything.
Well, then, because then you had to go back to working again.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Then I had
Yeah.
to go get a regular job. But you know what though? Having that mindset change of like, because the thing was, I just looked around and I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got
Exactly.
sick and tired of shit always happening to me. I got sick and tired of feeling like, damn, here we go. I've lost another job. I've done another thing. Like where it's like now I'm like at ground zero. And I just got tired of it. I remember being like, you need to just go get a regular job, live a regular life, go to school and do something. Because clearly this isn't working out. And I'm like, I remember talking to myself as if I wasn't myself. Like I remember being like, I'm tired of you. I was like, I'm tired of this. And that's when I moved into mom's house. And that's when then right after that, I moved out to go live with Sage, and then that's I was like, you know what, I should just get my own, like get a job and just like do the right thing or whatever. And I started working at Mariano's, and I liked it. It was a full-time job. I was making okay money, and I was like, can I just be like, you know what, now I could post whatever I want to TikTok and like
Without the pressure.
without the pressure, and like now I'd have to worry about like being like in a beauty niche and like only doing beauty videos,
Right.
And then one day on break, very demure. And then the rest is history.
That is
man.
insane.
The rest is history. That's how we got to Demure.
Insane.
And now, we're working with big brands. We're doing different things. We're going to be on different platforms. The fact that, that big project is underway.
Oh, yeah.
There's contracts being signed.
I'm excited for that.
Hosting opportunities.
Yeah.
I've been able to go to New York Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, talk to some of the biggest names in the industry, met insane celebrities, all from just doing what I want to do and changing my perspective a little bit. And not
also too, I think once the pressure was relieved, right?
Yes.
That's what kind of allowed you to be at your best when it comes to like creative freedom.
Yes.
Because as you were saying before, you have these faceless videos, you have these different types of content that blew up before.
Yes.
But sometimes it takes a little bit of directing the spotlight to see somebody shine.
Yes.
So you finally getting some shine, and it's great to see, because there's some people who they'll kind of get lucky with something, but I don't know. We've always seen it since you were little.
Especially like the going on
You're
like
the biggest character in any room we're in.
Like I don't know, like I think I had it like in my head at some point that the internet like did not fuck with me.
Right.
And so to have the internet be like, no, bitch, we fuck with you heavy. Like I was like, gag. Like it really like re-inspired me to like really do everything that I wanted to do. And also just like reminding me that like being myself has always been my biggest attribute. You know what I mean? Like being myself has always been the thing that saved me. So like, let's go back to being ourselves and doing what we want to do and not like doing what we think we should be doing.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, we all have to do what we have to do. But realistically, you're not going to be happy unless you spend a significant portion of your life doing what you want to do.
Yeah. And don't ever like be afraid to pivot. That's like the one thing I learned is like, like I feel like sometimes like I get too like tunnel visioned on things for a while, and then I'd be like, no, I have to make this work and be like this. But it's like, like it's like sometimes I feel like it's like people in relationships get like that, where they're like, oh, I just have to figure this out and do like, we keep trying to make this work and we keep, or you could just like go live your life and like completely leave this situation. Like it's like they get so tunnel vision and be like, this has to be what it is. It's like sometimes it's not what it is, and you gotta just like realize it's your life and you have free will,
You gotta make your own decisions.
Free will be too much of a motherfucker though, because I be dropping things. I'm like, free will. It's like,
well, I mean, and honestly, that's the biggest like luxury that you've been able to afford ever since your life changed recently. Is like now you do have
nice bags.
You have the time.
You're like the best thing. I'm like, nice
bags. No, but you have the time. You have the time to like do and pursue the things that you want to.
Yes.
Because a lot of other people, we all work for a living. And when you work for a living, you dedicate so much time to doing what you have to do.
Yeah.
So you really have to focus that time, the extra time you have, into doing something you want to do.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you really
You also have
happy.
to fucking do it though.
You got to do it.
That's
the
thing though. I've learned the hard way too. Is that like I caught myself chilling a little too long sometimes. Where I'm like, damn it, you could have been uploading a video.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like if you're working at Mariano still, you're having less time to do that, right? So it's like that's what I've been so happy for you recently. Is now you have that time to explore your creative space.
Yes, yes. And kind of get back to like what I love.
I mean, and all the different things you do has been interesting. Like you're doing food reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Food reviews I thought are great.
Torta reviews, tortas. That series should come back. People love that series.
Oh, also too, you have good opinions on like, what tastes good. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Since I guess we went through my whole TikTok timeline and we are at Demure now, I guess that brings us to where we are now.
Current times, which will be perfect for episode 3.
All right, Fierce Divas, thank you guys for watching Trend and a Man, a very demure podcast. And until next time, remember, Divas, keep it very demure.